No, I'm sitting there.
All right.
I don't know, what is that one turned up for?
We were saving that for you.
Oh, well then, John.
Just take this one.
I wouldn't dare take it. Slap my jaws if I even thought about it.
You can have just this one time.
All right, well,
A special dispensation.
Yes.
We were saying that you grew up.
And it is fried? It's fried?
Good to see you, sir. Thank you. This room is fine. Every day. Hey, how are you? Hey, how about that? I am, again. Up from the 30-year-old on Medicare now.
Hey, you know what? That could be a bonus.
Yeah, hardly is.
Yeah, good.
This is throwing me off. I use this too on mine, but for some reason, it's good to go. So much better. Get this to move here. So this is the streaming software, and if you're gonna
Here, I'll sit right here for
for a minute, and then we'll readjust.
Okay.
So, and I kind of put this on this little box just because I like the view a little bit better.
Okay. Who?
April. You'll have her on the.
She didn't call me.
No.
She can
Have my food if she wants it.
So, yeah. We may have a problem because I think I only have 46 seats, and I've got 44. Those two are reserved for the schools. So you can come over here. You can have this seat when because I'll be there.
Yeah, this one's open.
You're gonna move next to me? Yeah. There you go.
Right here.
Okay. So that software is which one?
This is the OBS software.
Okay. So open OBS.
The kids that are coming.
The kids are comp,
And then
and the admin is comp. The parents pay.
Okay, thanks.
Rotary International.
I know.
All the guidelines.
Right. Okay, so open the OBS software.
OBS software.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to adjust the angle of the camera or anything, I recommend using it in that because as you'll see when you're live streaming, there's a little bit of a lag. So see, I moved the camera here. It's not showing it up here.
Okay, so how'd you hit the live stream? Where'd you do that?
So we already went live. Do you have time to say after?
Yes.
I do too. Do you want to do a
Yes.
let's do that instead.
Okay.
Because I think you're inundated with other stuff right now, right?
A little. I had Jen come early, but we've got outstanding students, and
Go for
she's
it.
getting
I'll-
swamped out there.
Oh yeah, this is good to go. We're live.
Okay, and you and I can do it afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. We can do it here or wherever.
Okay,
whatever
I'll go
you
help
do.
Jen. God bless you. I owe you a drink or two.
Glass of wine. I'll take it. Thank you so much. That was delicious.
Okay, so just put that in the email.
So yeah, that's what I was asking. This is all new to me, so are they gonna be able to tell the chamber any meetings?
Hard to do.
that's fine. There's yeah, I'm like.
I know, right? I'm like, I want dinner pudding.
Walking around, I'm like, I've been walking around all day with one earring, so.
I know, I lost my favorite earring. I was like, oh my gosh, really?
I know, I'm like, you hate it when that happens. Well, you know you want to finish it.
German chocolate with trouble?
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's a tad too great. That's a good way to put it. Tad too great. You know?
Whatever neat, yeah. Little dress is so pretty.
Thank you. Hi for
I know, I saw that. What ticket? Picking on you.
feel lucky. No, on my winter clothes, I don't know if any of y'all put on the freshman 15 in college. I put on the COVID 30 during quarantine. So I was struggling this morning to find warm clothes because I am not the same size as I was last winter. I'm like, my nice coats
Little snow, same for me.
I'm going to we're going skiing in Breckenridge. We do a family trip for New Year's every year. We're skiing. It's really nice, like, what do they call it? Like cabin. It's like a luxury home. We've got like 5 master bedrooms, like 20 of them. So it's really neat.
Very much.
And I'm hoping COVID won't ruin it for me. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Hi, April. I love that everyone wears name tags.
Yes.
You can tell me your name and you can look at you and I'll look away and absolutely not your name. I've always been terrible.
you?
Michelle, nice.
Well, nice to meet you, Michelle. So are y'all back at work or working from home?
We're essential. We're essential. I'm so tired of being essential.
Are you home here?
I'm a nurse.
Where at?
I work for cardiology.
So I'm not as essential as I used to be in hospital.
I'm more relaxed now.
My mom's an ER director in Dallas.
Oh, nice.
She's saying they're seeing a spike in COVID, but younger patients, and they're all 65.
I'm so sure they're doing flu shots in our office. I don't know.
When I worked at Christmas, they forced me to, but after work for Christmas, I'm not going to get one now. I don't think I'm going to take a COVID vaccine either. I don't If anybody chat, it'll show it right here. I've just said, hey, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, let us know.
Okay.
And right now, there are 2 people connected.
Hemmons, I know, is easy. I need to grab my
Good morning to you, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Tyler. We're delighted to see each one of you here today. And please join me in thanking Radiance Williams, our pianist today. We're delighted to have you here today for this great meeting where we're going to honor students, hear from our TISD Superintendent today. Let me ask, how many of you in the room today have already cast your ballot for next Tuesday? Oh, a big show of hands. Great. That's tremendous. As we think about the national election, right behind that will be Thanksgiving. I'm reminded of the cartoon in the magazine that showed a family gathered around their Thanksgiving table for the feast. The mother looked around the table at all the family. She said, "We're so fortunate." She said most people went to the grocery store to get $1.69 a pound turkey. She said from the deer lease we get to eat $89 a pound venison.
I love it.
Now they done gone medley. If you brought a cell phone into the meeting with you, please put it on silent or vibrate at this time. And we are delighted to be live streaming the meeting again today. Appreciate so much having that all set up for those club members that are with us on live stream. And now if you'll stand with me for our national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, Dr. Allison Cambry will lead us in that.
Let us face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight flag's last gleaming, with stripes and bright stars, through the perilous night, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the hearts bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
If you'll remain standing for our invocation and introduction of guests and visitors, we'll ask Larry Wickham to come forward and do that for us.
Thank you, Jim. Would you bow with me in prayer? Our Heavenly Father, we come today to thank you for the opportunity to be here among these friends and to celebrate another meeting of the Tyler Rotary Club. We thank you for the food that we've enjoyed and pray that you bless it to nourish and strengthen our lives, and that you would help us as we accomplish our purposes here today to honor and please you in all that we do. We thank you for this group and for the work that they do around the world, for the impact that we've had on polio and other causes, and we pray, Father, that you would continue to lead us to be servants above ourselves, and we ask this all in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. It's my delight to be able to welcome you to this meeting of the Tyler Rotary Club. We have a lot of guests with us today, and I presume, DM, that I'm not going to introduce all of our special guests. Will they be introduced later in the program? Okay. So I will just ask if we have first any visiting Rotarians here with us today. We have Rotarians from other clubs. Yes. Would you introduce yourself to us again?
Hello, I'm Sarah Fox. I'm a member of Longview Grayson, and I'm also the district's public image and social media chair. I'm happy to be here again with you guys today. Thank you.
That was Sarah Fox. And Sarah has been here helping us with our live streaming that we have. I don't know how many this morning we have with us by live stream. Do you know, Sarah?
We had 2.
We're up to 4.
4? Okay.
We're up to 4. Well, welcome to you 4.
Where are you seeing that?
And we're glad to have you with us, Sarah. So I know we have some guests here today. I'm going to start back here at this table. Any guests at the back? Jackie, are you still a guest?
I am.
Stand up and tell us who you are.
Jackie Hannon, I'm here today with Lisa, and I come with different people, but anytime there's a chance to hear Dr. Crawford, I want to be there.
All right. Jackie Cannon is
I
with us.
love him and
Thank
his
you,
family,
Jackie.
and look forward to what he has to say.
Well, from a good friend, Gene Thrash, raised in Kilgore, lived in Tyler for 30-something years, and lives in Dallas now.
Gene Thrash is the man. We're glad to have you. Well, DM and I have a mutual friend who's here today. Jim Hutchins is back here in the back corner. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Jim, or you want me to?
You can go. You know more about me.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing to say. Jim is a candy salesman. He's the candy man. He works for, really as an independent consultant now for candy companies on a national basis, and is particularly a specialist in organic candies. And he's in great demand around the country as someone who can help market that kind of thing. He also has a landscaping business here in Tyler.
Does he have samples?
Is he what?
Samples? Candy samples.
He does have samples, but I eat most of them. And he's married to Carolyn, and we're glad to have him with us today. Leland, do you have guests?
Yeah, my good friend Harold Uncle Marty with me. Harold and I share 3 grandchildren together.
All right. Harold Martin is also our guest. We're especially glad, Harold, to know that Leland has a friend. So, thank you for being here with us. All right. Any other guests in our meeting today? Well, thank you all for being here. We're looking forward to a delightful program. We have a lot of other guests who will be introduced later, but we'll give it back to you.
Thank you so much. At this time, we want to thank our 2 greeters for today, Mary Birch and King Ramey. Wave at us back here. Thank you so much. And now for one of the highlights of our weekly meetings, here's Paul Gleiser with This Week in History.
Thank you, DM. On the 29th of October, 1929, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 30.57% of its value in a single day, closing at 230.07. By July 8th of 1932, it would close at 41.22, having lost 89% of its value from its peak in 1929. A 30-year-old who bought stock in June of 1929 would not see a full recovery in value in his remaining lifetime. On the 30th of October 1953, General George C. Marshall received the Nobel Peace Prize for the European post-war reconstruction plan that came to bear his name. Under the Marshall Plan, the countries of Europe, with the exception of Germany, would see their economies recover to pre-war levels in just 4 years. On the 31st of October 1992, Pope John Paul II formally apologized for the trial and house arrest visited upon Galileo Galilei in 1633, got right on it, as a result of Galileo's promotion of heliocentrism, which is the belief that the Earth orbits the Sun rather than the other way around, as was believed in 1633. As the story goes, as Galileo was forced by the Inquisition to renounce heliocentrism under pain of excommunication or corporal punishment, he muttered under his breath, "Et pour se mouve," which translates, "Yeah, and yet it moves." On the 1st of November 1765, the Stamp Act, was the first direct tax on the American colonies, was enacted by Parliament. Following vociferous outcry, it was repealed in 1766, but the damage was done. The Stamp Act effectively put in motion the events leading to the American Revolution. On the 2nd of November, 1947, Howard Hughes flew the Spruce Goose for approximately 1 mile at 70 feet in its only flight. It was an airplane made almost entirely of wood. It was made of laminated birch and remains the longest wingspan airplane ever built. A crew of 300 workers, all sworn to secrecy, maintained the airplane in flying condition until 1962. The crew was reduced to 50, and they worked on the airplane until Hughes' death in 1976. On Tuesday, the 3rd of November, 1948, President Harry Truman held up a copy of that day's Chicago Tribune, bearing a banner headline that said, "Dewey defeats Truman." Most newspapers had predicted a Dewey victory. The New York Times had opined, quote, "If Truman is nominated, he will be forced to wage the loneliest campaign in recent history." Eschewing the press, Truman mounted his famous whistle-stop campaign that put him in daily contact with voters. He won the election by 3 million popular votes, and he took 28 states. And finally, on Wednesday, the 4th of November, 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter, working in Egypt's Valley of the Kings, near Luxor, unearthed steps leading to the tomb of Egyptian Pharaoh King Tutankhamun. Unlike essentially all of the tombs in Egypt, his had not been looted in antiquity and was largely intact, and that's what made Tut remarkable. He otherwise was an unremarkable king who had died at the age, if I can turn this page, have an ad-libbing, who had died at the age of 17, lay there for 3,000 years with his tomb largely undisturbed. That's the only reason we care about Tut, by the way. Otherwise, he was a meaningless king. Birthdays in the coming week. Today, original Charlie's Angel Kate Jackson turns 72. The Fonz, Henry Winkler, turns 63 tomorrow. Astronaut Michael Collins from Apollo 11 turns 90 on Saturday. Former First Lady Laura Bush turns 74 next Wednesday. And Hot Lips Houlihan, Loretta Swift, turns 83 also next Wednesday.
Wow.
And that's this week in history.
And now we have the privilege of honoring outstanding high school senior students. I'm going to ask Keene Raby and Mary Birch to come forward and share with us about the students that we'll honor today. And when we get through, we'll give the students a chance to say a word to the club.
Thanks, Dean. This is our first of 13 high schools we'll be recognizing outstanding seniors.
We can't hear you.
Okay. Is that good order? Can you hear me?
Nope. It's,
Better?
I think it's off.
Hello? Test?
Yeah, bang it. There you go.
How you hold it, if you hit that button, it tends to shut it down. So just be careful how you hold it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
There you go.
I'll start over. This is our first.
Yep.
This is our first of 13 high schools, which we will recognize outstanding seniors. We're very happy to have UT Tyler Innovation Academy with us today. And there's several people from their staff here. Amy Dennis, who's the Tyler director, and Kathy Parker, the district academic counselor. Thank you both for being here. I've asked Amy to come up just for a minute and just give us a thumbnail sketch of what's going on at your school.
Okay. Well, the UT Tyler University Academy, we've been in operation. This is our 9th year. So we focus on STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And we instruct using project-based learning and also blended learning. We have 30 scholars on our campus. And our campus has kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. We also focus on the biomedical and engineering track. So our scholars take classes in those tracks whenever they're in high school. And we also start dual credit their 9th grade year. And our scholars can graduate with anywhere up to 30 university credit hours by the time that they graduate. So
That's awesome.
and we're a wonderful school. We love to give tours. So if you would like to come and see us, please contact me. We would love to have you. And if you would have any opportunities to come and volunteer, we also love to have professionals on our campus as well. So thank you again for having us.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. I'm Mary Birch, and I'm pleased to have UT Tyler Innovation Academy here with us today. And the first student we will be recognizing is Ms. Kenny Adams. Would you come on up, please? And Kenny told us while we were reading this morning that she's been at UT Tyler Innovation Academy since 5th grade. And her parents are with her today, Ken and Cynthia Adams. And her many include previewing research awards. She is president of the National Honor Society, and she is the Silver Award from Girl Scouts. She plans to attend Texas A&M University and major in biomedical engineering.
Whoa. Good job.
Kenny is going to hand you your trophy. And this is Kenny Adams.
Our second senior is Baker Wynn. Baker, why don't you come on up? But Baker's parents are Boogie and Karen Wynn. Thank you for being here. His many accomplishments are this. He's a Life Scout. He's on the verge of being an Eagle Scout. Multiple Globe Science Symposium Awards. competed in many UIL events, and considering about a considerable amount of dual credit hours. He plans to attend Texas A&M and major in psychology. Baker Wynn, please, thank you.
Good job.
We had some tall seniors here today.
All right. Good.
Would you like to say a word?
Thank you for having us and for hosting us and for honoring us. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Great to honor these outstanding students and to hear about their accomplishments. Under our Rotary business, I want to take just a moment to remind you that our district for Northeast Texas, 5830, will have our annual conference. It'll be virtual this Saturday, the 31st, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you haven't signed up yet for the conference, check with Holly Lewis, our executive secretary, and she has all the information how you can participate in that. And then we want to invite you to mark your calendars for 2 weeks from today. On November the 12th will be our joint networking opportunity, wonderful reception and party that evening with the group from the young professionals at Hobbies. So if you haven't signed up yet for that, also check with Holly Lewis. We look forward to being with the Tyler Young Professionals that Thursday evening. The upcoming board meeting for November will be on the 20th at Hemant Patel's La Quinta Inn and Suites at 11:30. Bring your own lunch, and the monthly board meeting will start promptly at noon. If you're new in the club, it's a great way to see all of the activities and programs of the club at work, and you're certainly invited. We want to ask you to be sure and mark your calendar for next Thursday. The program for Thursday week will be John Moore, the humorist and newspaper columnist from Tyler. He'll be talking about his new book of growing up in Texas and Arkansas with a lot of great insights. And now I want to ask our president nominee, Dr. Allison Cambry, to come forward and to introduce our program for today to you.
Being a superintendent of a school district is a tough job. I know I served as a trustee for Clear Creek Independent School District down in the Harris and Galveston County. And my admiration once I got on the board for what superintendents do just went sky high. Dr. Marty Crawford is the superintendent. He's been here since the year 2014. He currently holds a bachelor's degree from Baylor's University, a master's degree from the University of Oklahoma, and a doctor of educational administration from Texas A&M in commerce. He currently, apparently this mic's going in and out, and I assume the batteries aren't good, so if I'm fading in and out, it's not because my voice is the mic. He currently serves on the board of directors of the Texas School Alliance, the legislative committee for the Texas Association of School Administration, the legislative council with the UIL, and an advisor for the Tyler Mentoring Alliance. He is a member of the Baylor University Athletics Hall of Fame because of his, I'm still talking, because of his work with baseball. He got into the Hall of Fame because of his baseball while he was undergraduate. Dr. Crawford and his wife, Alana, are proud parents of 3 children, 2 daughters, Ashton, who is a practicing RN and a graduate student at the University of Texas at Tyler, AJ, who's a student at Dr. Brian C. Jack Elementary School, along with their son Jackson, who is a freshman at Tyler Junior College. Doctor, I introduce to you Dr. Crawford. You want to come up?
quarterback voice here. Can everybody hear me as best you can? It's great to be among friends. I've told y'all many times that when I've presented here that my dad was a Rotarian, and I remember as a child frequently going with him to lunch wherever we were living, whether it be Lindale or Carthage down here in East Texas, and then later on to finish high school, we were in Grand Prairie, Texas. Good friends in the room. Jackie Cannon's already given me a shout out. Good to see you too, Jackie. I can never get away from you. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And then, I see in the back of the room George Roberts. George, I've seen way too much of you the last 7 months. Heard way too much from you the last 7 months. But what an ally that George and Net Health has been with our school system as we've tried to get back to educating kids. But I did not know that I was going to show up today, and my college roommate's dad was going to be in the audience as a guest. So Harold Martin, please, no stories from Baylor about me and Mark. All right, that was over 25 years ago. We don't need to rehash any of those fun times we had down there. Good Tyler guy right there. But we are excited to be here today to kind of give you an update. We've done this on and off since my tenure here, started in 2014. I can't believe I'm saying in my 7th year as a school superintendent here in Tyler, Texas. School superintendents are pretty mobile. We're moving targets. We're gypsies. We tend to not stay in one place for very long, but we love it here in East Texas. We've had some success in Tyler over the last few years, and so I guess that means we get to stay because you wouldn't get to. Love coming to Rotary, as I said, and the highlight of my day when I come here is to present to you, obviously, but also to listen to Paul give This Week in History is something that I really enjoy as a former history teacher, although he did leave out something about King Tut. He's probably the only Egyptian king that had a Saturday Night Live skit dedicated to him, Steve Martin, King Tut.
Yes.
Anyways, there you go. So, I'm not trying to supersede Paul. He is the resident historian here at Rotary, but certainly want to add that. Well, we're here today to give you a little bit of an update. I'll try to get through this as quick as I can. I have 20 minutes or so. DM's going to get up here and stand up and tell me when it's time to get off. 5 minutes left. I'll try to get through this so we can get to the Q&A part of it on the back end, because I think that's y'all's favorite part, is to grill the superintendent. Just a little bit about a year in review. We were set up to have an outstanding year last year before March. As many of y'all know, in 2014, I think 11 of our 29 or 30 campuses were identified as low performing. I knew that when I took the job. I can't believe I actually did it then, but I thought we had great potential to actually recover that. And we went from 11 to 9 to 3 to 2 to 0, and then one jumped back on last year. So we went from having almost 40% of our campuses identified as low performing back down to 1 last year, and we were scheduled to come off. All the data was coming back that we were going to get back down to 0 again. Both of our high schools were going to be really close to an A-rated school. Legacy was no doubt going to become an A-rated school. Tyler High, after the first year of accountability 3 years ago, started off at a 69, raised up to a 79. They were going to get awfully close to an A as well. Some of those campuses that were low performing, or formerly low performing, have ascended to B-rated status in 6 years' time. After we had to do some pretty dramatic things there, reconstituting them, doing some different programming there. So we were really excited about what we were going to be able to do for y'all, our community, as far as the outcomes go for our students. The results were really going to be there. And then everybody knows what happened in March. And we did not get to take our final assessments with the state of Texas. They waived all of that, and everybody went into triage. I was sharing with DM here that our CFO was on a boat in New Zealand. Whenever, and a lot of y'all know her, Tasha Bjork, Randy Bjork's her husband, worked for Texas Bank and Trust. We were lucky to get her back. From New Zealand to Sydney in about a 48-hour period when the whole world shut down. So we got her back so she could protect your tax dollars and how we spend them. And so we had staff scattered all over the place because it was on the back end of our spring break. We had students in New York City, we had students in Florida, got them back, quarantined them, and then before you know it, we were stuck in this shutdown for the remainder of the spring. We were concerned and still remain concerned about academic achievement and student success as we go forward. We'll kind of talk about that. But from March to June, we had one goal, and that was to get the senior class of 2020 graduated. Their senior year was disrupted like none other. They had concerts canceled, they had banquets canceled, they had awards assemblies canceled, they had prom canceled. It's a big deal to high schoolers, not a big deal to school administrator. I was kind of like, yeah. One prom less in my career is one controversy less in my career. But I did have a senior son last year, and I was sharing with DM. I did ask him. I said, Jackson, these last 3 months, I've kind of let you run around, and y'all haven't had to do much schoolwork during that time. Are you okay? Your senior year in high school, it evaporated without you like overnight. And he goes, Dad, I couldn't have found a better way to finish my last 3 months of public ed. Seniors, y'all probably have it now. Senioritis, it's probably starting to set in a little bit, although you're probably glad to be back. But I'll say this, I think we ended it very well. We graduated 4 graduations from our 4 different high school programs here, both of our comprehensive high schools, our early college high school, which is cool. We have 80 associate's degrees out with their graduation, high school graduation diploma at the same time. And then our RISE early graduation and credit recovery struggling student high school. We graduated all 4 of them in June. And that was a pretty neat celebration to be able to do that. Thank goodness the restrictions were lifted at half the capacity of the stadium. So the parents and families got to go see their children graduate. So that was a good closure. And then set us up for what we're doing now. And that is our return to learn. Y'all have been kind of seeing us on TV here lately, probably. You've seen a lot of announcements and press releases in the newspaper. All the school systems across the state are going through this. Everyone in Smith County, public, private, and charter. We've all had these restrictions kind of put in place on us, and then we've all had to develop these plans. And then we actually start the school year. We started on August 19th. We had 65% of our students that were actually in school, learners, on the first day of school. 35% were at home. We were providing a blended learning opportunity for them, or digital education for them, online for them. And we'll get to how successful that was or was not here in just a second. But that's what we started. And certainly we asked for a lot of grace and a lot of patience from our community and our parents as we embarked upon something that's pretty difficult to pull off, especially with the little guys. If you think about it, college students who do virtual learning have a hard time themselves, and they have somewhat of a frontal cortex of their brain developed. The little guys, it's tough, somewhat developed. The little guys, it's tough, and so we've asked for grace, and for the most part, we've been given that grace. We really thank our community and our parents for understanding that these teachers are trying to do something that we've never done. Surely, they all have had experience with teaching with technology, but running a full-blown instructional program, it's pretty tough. So in saying that, that's where we're at right now. I clicked it again. The return to learn. We also had the return to play. The one good thing about Tyler ISD is we play. And I'm not just talking about athletics. I'm also talking about band. I'm also talking about orchestra. I'm talking about choir. I'm talking about competitive academics as well. To where we have a UI academic program there. We're also talking about our clubs, student council, other things that go into just the high school experience other than just the academics. We're actually able to get back and do some of those things. Both of our high school football teams are playing right now. Our volleyball team's playing. Cross country just finished district. I think Legacy won the boys division in their district and got second in the girls division. Tyler High did a great job, did the same, similar. Both high school tennis teams have made it out of district. Tyler High was second behind White House in a very competitive district. Legacy actually won their district for the 5th time in a row as far as tennis goes, and they're in there with the Rockwalls and some of the other suburban schools. So we're glad to be able to get back to doing that because you only get one shot at this as far as educating kids and those kids getting experiences. before you have to get old like we are and work and go to Rotary and make presentations. So we're excited to be back, and as of today, we're about 88 to 89% at school with 11 to 12% at home learners. Yes, the R2S, the return to school, was announced a few weeks ago. I blame Lindell and I blame White House. I told Stan Surratt and Chris Moran, they were the first ones to get out there. I texted them one night late and I said, hey, we're about to bring everybody back too, unless you have a medical attestation. If there's a medical crisis, either with the student or at home, you can get a medical attestation instead of staying at home. And Dr. Moran at White House said, come on in, the water's warm. So it's been fun and interesting to make that call. The reason we made that call was we knew that this virtual learning was not going to be a long-term thing. No doubt we've never seen a pandemic. It's been 100 years since we've actually had to go through one of this. School systems have done a fairly good job, George, I think, over the years in managing illnesses. We're kind of built to do that. If you think about it, norovirus, flu, the common cold, other sicknesses that might get passed around, not diminishing what the coronavirus is. George and I have had that conversation before. But we understand how to manage some of these things, so we felt very comfortable. We have not had an infection rate in our school system amongst 20,000 people, that's students and staff, that has topped 1% yet. We've been right there like at 0.8%, and even as low as like 0.06% at time. It really ebbs and flows depending upon what's happening. So within the school system, which of 20,000 people, I guess is the size of Corsicana, done a fairly good job of that. Certainly it can spike up on us, and we've had some pockets here and there. We're like going, ooh, that may get a little hairy here pretty soon, but it's pretty much ebbed and flowed. Our teachers have done a good job of following protocols. Our campus principals have been the rock stars on this. I could put things in place. If they don't go execute, we don't have success academically or with what we're going through right now. Our students have been compliant. Most kids are getting this the older that they are. So think about all the college kids across the country that have gone out and got coronavirus. Well, those high school kids are really close to being college kids, and they're very social. And so a lot of that's happening as well. So we think that where we're at right now on the return to school is in a good shape. The reason we did it was because we were having some issues academically speaking. We had a failure rate for at-home learners for the first 6 weeks that was at 60%. And that's just unacceptable. As an educator, you sometimes have to look at it and go in loco parentis, in absence of parent. You got to step in and make a tough call. And it rests at the top. Even though I've got a team, my principals were begging me by the third 6 weeks, bring them all back, Doc. Do it now. And we waited long enough, and we said after the end of the second 6 weeks, they're going to all come back next Monday. So the day before Election Day, which is great. Popular guy. So that was one issue. We think we're in a good. We've got early data back from where they're at and any learning loss that might have occurred, and there's nothing that's insurmountable as far as where they are academically. We do know that they're struggling socially. We're expecting the CPS issues to go back up. You know, the school system is 75% economically disadvantaged. We also have some nutritional issues, a nutritional crisis that's out there as well. We normally serve 11,000 meals per day in Tyler ISD. Wow. We're 4,000 short right now. So if you think about that, those are your free and reduced lunch kids that make up a large portion of who eats at school. Even though AJ, my fifth grader Jack, she loves the school lunches we have here. So I said that my kid does. My kid does love our school lunches. But we start thinking about 4,000 meals a day. We've got kids that are already struggling to eat that are struggling. And we were offering curbside pickup, and there just wasn't any participation. There was great participation during the shutdown, but terrible participation this fall. So those are some of the reasons why. And here's another thing. We can always start tight, and we started tight. We can always loosen up a little bit and then tighten back up as needed. That's one thing we've learned from George and that bunch. Is we've got a great county leadership here, a great group of collaborators with the city and the county, along with Net Health and our school systems, that we can effectively manage that if we need to. But we also understand the long-term ramifications and implications of keeping our schools shut down. Not just the academic consequences for those children, but the economic consequences for Smith Countyans and Tylerites, because those folks are going to be what's going to be going into the job corps and the workforce when they get done when they get through graduating. If they don't get a good education, or if they don't graduate, then here we are with a crisis that we've created just for a little bit of short-term gratification. I'm not saying that wasn't the right thing to do, but it turns into a long-term issue that's going to be hard to overcome. Back on track we're back on track after, I guess, on Monday for the most part, or even in the future, where we're going to have to do some innovative things to catch up some of our kids that have been traditionally underperforming in pockets of our community. I'm not worried about A.J. Crawford. A.J. Crawford with 2 parents at home, technology available, and a daddy that's an educator that really does press on it. Mom's got a stable job. Dad's got a stable job. She's going to be fine. What I worry about are the kids that don't have a couple of parents at home like she's got. And if we're really going to try to truly make Smith County and Tyler a great place to grow into over the next 50 years, we've got to worry about those kiddos as well and focus on them. So there'll be some opportunities that'll come up for students to catch up. We'll do what we possibly can. You know, they said after Katrina, it took them 4 years to get back on track. I think this has been different than Katrina. You're talking about a nationwide crisis, not just a small sample size of one region of our country. And then certainly we start thinking about the state of Texas and the implications that we've got going on with the economy and et cetera. We've got some challenges ahead. So we're back on track. I'm close to getting to our Q&A portion of this, but I want to give you a couple of videos. The Tyler High progress of construction, along with the Legacy High School progress as far as the construction goes there. We're scheduled to cut the ribbon this coming August, so we're inside that zone of a year. Very excited about that. We'll give you a little update here, and I'll briefly touch on that after this little presentation right here, and then we'll do Q&A.
Good evening, Tyler ISD, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Crawford. This video will give you a brief update on the construction progress at Tyler High School, and I will be available to answer any questions you may have at the end of this video. The last construction update we provided was pre-COVID, and I will say that a lot of things have changed since then. The first stop we will take is at the new Performing Arts Center. This phase was completed and turned over for occupation in August. This building section also includes the band, choir, and orchestra areas. Next, we see the progress of the new indoor athletic complex. Foundations, structural steel, and masonry are all completed, and we are working to dry the building in. This is scheduled to be turned over for the spring semester, which is when we'll start the renovation of the field house. Here we have the newly renovated C and D halls, which is now called the B Hall. Students and staff began occupying this section in August as well. We are now actively renovating the existing A and B halls. Demolition is nearing completion, and the installation of new walls and MEP infrastructure is underway. This footage shows the removal of the second floor to create a clear story, library, and media space. This building was previously the VOTEC building, and with the renovation completed in August, students and staff began occupying the new dance and drill studio and the CTE makerspace. Last, the renovation of the JV gym was completed, and now demolition has commenced in the varsity gym in preparation for the renovation and completion in the spring of 2021. Thank you again for allowing me to provide you with an update on the construction progress at Tyler High School, and yes, we are happy to report that we are still on schedule and within budget. Thank you.
Before you click that, I'll just say something real quick. Do we have any Tyler High graduates in here? So the original building before the fire, you had that clear open space in the middle, and then the fire happened. They came back in and they filled it in with other classrooms and other things. We actually went back to the old school way. We a little nostalgia there. We actually went to the original design. It's a cool space. Where you just saw the renovated pictures is the original C&D wing, which was an addition, I think, when the fire happened as well. Guys, I can't tell you how disappointed and embarrassed I was when I got here at the condition of John Tyler. It was like a pub. It was dark, grungy. The materials that were used upon construction were just not very conducive to long-term use. We've really freshened that up. That's the campus I'm really proud of. Legacy's glitzy, but Tyler High is going to be an incredible facility for those kiddos long-term, and being able to renovate it and take what was the good bones that were still there and then do the additions was really neat. So here's Legacy.
After a long-anticipated 3 years of building the Tyler Legacy High School, the doors of the new school were open to students and faculty for the first day of school. Pulling up to the school, there is an immediate sense of pride, integrity, and excellence one should feel as they step foot on this beautiful campus. The main entrance provides safe and immediate access to administration on both west and east sides of the corridor. The split staircase truly gives meaning to the depth and magnitude of this campus, leading up to the second floor classrooms. Once you pass the corridors, your attention is drawn towards the media center that accommodates students and staff to gather in quiet spaces as needed for reading material and studying. Nature provides an excellent place to hold meetings, charge phones and laptops, or receive professional development training. It even includes a flex learning center that holds classes with state-of-the-art technology. To the west side of the media center is a lecture hall that holds up to 90 seating capacity and full presentation view of two 65-inch interactive flat panels for spectators to view. There are over 150 classrooms throughout this new facility that include a teacher workstation, comfortable spacious seating for students, and 75-inch interactive flat panels in all classrooms. The memorial is located to the east of the academic building and is a constant reminder of remembering our loved ones and honoring those that have served the country. There is a large, spacious cafeteria that provides lots of natural lighting, stage platform for meetings with AV system, and large projector for meetings. During lunch, students have access to a beautiful courtyard. It is the central focus and heart of the campus. Students may eat in the courtyard during lunch and spend time socializing with others. To the north of the campus is everything fine arts and the Fine Arts Center. The band hall, orchestra, and choir rooms all have AV systems, practice rooms, large projectors, and spacious rooms that will enable the program to grow.
That accumulated in the third grade in the spring of 2020.
Yeah, so we've taken our first round of assessments, and that was the first thing you need to do. I think a lot of when we didn't know, I think there was just a lot of rhetoric out there. Oh my gosh, the kids are going to be behind. I'm the type of guy that need to know how far they were going to be behind. We presented that to our board. We've actually had some stability in some of our grade levels. So we take that data and look at each individual kid and make sure that they're getting interventions and remediation above and beyond the normal curriculums that they're providing. So there's things called response to intervention. There's 3 different levels in there. Level 1 is obviously the classroom teacher does that. Very prescriptive as far as small groups go, maybe individualized while they're doing silent sustained work at their desk. The rest of the class is. And level 2 intervention on that would be maybe some pull-outs. And then 3, you start looking in there, maybe special education or 504. So there's a lot of intervention work that's been already going on right now as far as specialized work goes for each individual student.
How big is the problem? What's the scope?
It's not insurmountable, but it's you're looking at 3 or 4 points off of our annual progress measures that we set. It's better than having 10 points off is the way I'm kind of looking at it right now. So I think we can make up some time. And I don't think our kiddos are in as bad a shape as a lot of folks are thinking that they were in other urban centers. But we still have some gaps in there. Our big push has been early literacy the last 3 or 4 years. We're really concerned about that. That is our priority, no doubt. April?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned the bond earlier. We know
Uh-huh.
what was consistent in that, and I'm going to ask a question you probably prayed nobody would ask.
Yeah.
How do y'all plan on paying for the completion of this name change, since you know it was not included in the bond?
Yeah, I've been on record in saying this. First of all, I'm going to tell you, I've got a college roommate and teammate that graduated from Robert E. Lee. I've got a son that graduated from Robert E. Lee, and I've also got a sister-in-law that graduated from Robert E. Lee, class of '74, Lisa Wilson, if anybody knows her. So I get it. There's no doubt about it. I live with it. It's in my family. And I've said that I don't think we should use bond money to pay for that. Now, I've got a couple of board members that I don't get to have that much sway over. But in saying that, I think the majority of the board feels like that's where it's going to have to come. It's going to have to come from some private donations. There is some private donations that are out there. And then on the other end of it, we've also got some opportunities. There were some other enterprising funds to where it's interesting that you actually get some money given back to you by the way you design these facilities through some of the construction that we have in there. So it's really not bond money; it's rebate type stuff that you go in and spend so much amount of money, and then they cut you a check back. So I think that's where we're probably going to attack it from. I don't want to touch debt service money. We've already built those facilities. We've already put the names up there. Double paying for it using bond money is not the way to do that. I will say this: I may have to lean up on my normal budget. That's not the debt service side of things. So I may not hire an extra administrator or two. I've already done a lot of that anyways. And that way I can justify some of my normal budget dollars and trying to help the board accomplish what they voted to do.
So why initiate that change if y'all didn't have the money to pay for it?
I can't for you. That's not my baby. You know that. Yeah.
I got a question for you. I'm visiting from Longview, and I know Longview ISD has adopted some public charter programs.
Mm-hmm.
Has Tyler ISD looked into doing that and getting any funding?
Yeah, and I think the premise of that with the state doing some of the things they've done as far as it doesn't mean the quality of education even. Now, we've got friends from the Innovation Academy in here that do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But public schools and even Tyler ISD, we're outperforming our public, private, and charter friends when it comes to AP exams. So we're doing a pretty good job there. It's something we've looked at, especially we were looking at Dogan Middle School when we were thinking about reconstituting Dogan Middle School. But we would rather have absorbed all of those kids to go to Moore Middle School, which was one of the top performing middle schools in the state of Texas, as opposed to trying to give it over to a charter.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing you also do is you give over your life to those charters, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So I think that's always an option. We just chose not to do it this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to you, Jackie.
With the projection of growth coming in because of the medical school,
Mm-hmm.
how does it look from your perspective with respect to need for future facilities?
Well, we've done a demographic study right before COVID hit, probably about January. We went ahead and got one because what spurred that was the south part of Holly Tree here, pretty much from Broadway all the way over to Old Jacksonville, where the Genicos and others had gone in there and said they're going to start developing. It did come back to say that because of where the growth is occurring, we needed to look at that. Certainly an elementary school is probably in our future somewhere down here to relieve that, probably out west more than anything, because I think we're covered with Owens and Jack on this part of the world. And you also got to look at your west side middle schools. Our middle schools are about what they can handle. I would prefer to have about a 200 gap in each one of our middle schools, but they're about 900 kids at each one of those middle schools, except for Hogg. Hogg's tiny, and by the way, Hogg's going to be 100 years old here in 10 years. It was built in 1930, which is crazy to think about. So there's some of that that's it's a cool building, but there's some of that as far as meeting educational needs or even ADA in this world that we're living in, if that's going to be sustainable. Hubbard needs a touch-up as well. Y'all know that. It was built in 65 or 67, and certainly we hope we can get to those, somewhere in the near future. I don't have a timeline on that. I'm just trying to wrap this one up, and I don't think we're going to jump ahead of ourselves before that happens. Jackie? $180,000 by the time it's all over with. We really
for each school?
No, I think it's going to be a total package.
How did you drop $335,000?
Because of value and engineering.
How much is in that account now to go go towards paying for that?
I don't know. It's a private deal. It's off-site, so I'm not sure. That's being managed by a nonprofit, not by me. I'll say this, that when we first did the pricing on it, see, I got criticized for the numbers that I gave back in 2017 when this conversation first popped up on us.
It was a lot.
It was. But you know what? It matched. In fact, Northeast ISD, when they changed the name of their school there, came out and actually had a that just changed theirs. I think came out and said it's going to be 3-point-something million for one school. Now, that's also talking about uniforms and things like that. But I'm just saying that we've been able to go back because of the type of construction that we put up there, the materials that were used. It wasn't that heavy concrete that's up there. It was more of a composite. It's a little bit lighter. Yeah, George.
Yeah, so Marty and I talked a lot. Marty and I talked a lot back in March, April, May, and then we started school. We were both very supportive of getting school started back. That was the right thing to do. But I'll be honest with you, I really thought that when school started that we would see, we'd probably go back to at-home learning in probably a 6-week period. So the fact that everybody has done a good job, you and your team, Rachel and others have done a great job. Y'all own this thing. Start the whole process, get everybody back. So we're able to see, if any of y'all ever want to see the numbers, you go to TEA, look at the TEA website, COVID-19. They have to give it out to TEA every week roughly. And basically you can tell how many people have had it, what's their current rate from certain age groups and staff as well. But their numbers have been much better. Everybody in Smith County, really all over the state, have done a great job. So
Thanks, George. I know there's a debate on the face coverings, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't stand wearing them. But our teachers came back to us and said that was one thing because of where you get your news from. Y'all know that. So that was one thing that I just kind of had to give up on that, George, was I didn't want to do it, but we do face coverings pre-K through 12, staff and students. Is it 100% effective? Are they doing it compliant 100% every day? No. But that was one thing that we think might have helped us a little bit there. We don't know. Seriously, you don't know. And then, the last thing, I think is funny. I went to Senator Cornyn's little thing here earlier today just to say hello. I went to his the last time he was in East Texas, he was at the food bank. It was on the first day of school. Got up there and gave our numbers. They tweeted out that I gave our numbers, and they actually tagged my Twitter handle. And I'm going to tell you, the left came at me like crazy. It was nuts. They said 2 weeks and 3 weeks, George, that school district will be shut down. That guy has a doctorate, whatever. Where did he get it from? All that kind of stuff. So 2 or 3 weeks, that stuff. I'm just going to tell you, I went back there today because I was hoping to get a chance. It was more of a campaign rally than just a little intimate occasion, because I really wanted to say, hey, we're still open.
Yeah.
And we didn't shut down in 2 or 3 weeks. Now I'm gonna tell you, we're really sensitive about all of this. Don't get me wrong. We're not being reckless on it. My middle school principal died of COVID, and he wasn't in good shape, but he did pass away. So we're very cognizant of that. I've got a friend of mine that I coached with. He's in the hospital on a ventilator right now. There is an illness out there. We just need to be very smart as we go about our. Certainly, we're not in favor of shutting down. I just think that was something that was. We tried it. We did it early to lessen the curve, and staying shut down is going to be detrimental to our kids for a long term more than what we've already done to them. So thank you for saying that, George. Y'all been a great partner.
Everybody's done a great job, and I think you keep up the good work.
Thanks, buddy. One last question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm a retired Army Master Sergeant. I spent 25 years, 10 months, 29 days, and 0.001 minutes. And what I would like to know is, with these numbers that you're putting out there, meals, et cetera, okay, that's reality. What home economics and what money management courses are stepping up to fill the void? It's a reality. I have an accounting degree from UT College.
Sure.
That's a reality. I bet.
Yeah.
I'm 100% disabled vet.
Sure.
Didn't qualify for spot hope. She got income.
Sure.
Well, I can take you to places in town that are a lot better dressed young men than me.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to enhance the?
What's interesting? What's interesting about that is next year we're going to start a course, a senior seminar course, for our kiddos because we realize there's an issue there. I call it the handshake curriculum. Every time I go somewhere, we start talking about career readiness. I ask about the X's and O's in academics, and people kind of wave that off. And I'm like going, dadgummit, you got to be able to read and do functional mathematics to be able to be a citizen. But what they want is they want somebody that can handle their finances, that someone that understands morals and ethics and being a citizen in our country and personal finance. And so we're going to be taking it to our board as a local graduation credit that all seniors have to go through that course. I think we're going to adopt the Dave Ramsey, what's it called? Financial Peace University as the personal finance part of that curriculum. That's more than you're going to get out of some economics course. That's a requirement. So you ask what we're doing, I realize that there's an issue there, but that is something we're going to do for our kids so that at least the next generation understands that they can go and maybe make this on their own and correct this on their own. As far as parents not being able to feed their kids, that isn't my shop. What are the churches doing? What are our local fraternities and service organizations doing to help those folks as well? So we always think that it's the school district or school system's responsibility to fix everything. I can't fix everything, but I can kind of chip away at some of that, and that's what we're going to try to do.
You draw a line in the sand. You
Well,
have a baseline understanding how to balance it.
Well, you and I could have some offline conversations about some lines in the sand that I draw with parents every day.
Right, I get paid for the decent pension.
Yeah.
My time, your time, every person in this room.
Yeah.
I work for, not the officer.
Yeah.
Not the MSR major. I work with people.
Sure, absolutely. But I can tell you, drawing a line in the sand about parenting, I do that, but I'm not going to get up here and tell you what way I talk to parents sometimes. I'm not going to do that.
I'll do it for you.
There you go.
See, is that picking up now? Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Crawford, we want to thank you so much for being here today. We have a certificate where you're giving a book to the Literacy Council of Tyler in your honor that I'll present to you after the meeting. And as we get ready for our Ace of Diamonds drawing, we want to invite our outstanding high school students and the administrators and the families to come up here and have a picture made with the Rotary banner after the meeting adjourns. At this time, we're going to have our Ace of Diamonds. Holly Lewis, tell us what's in the box, how many cards we have left.
We have 29 cards, $1,213.
Woohoo! Feeling lucky.
$1,216. We'll ask Dr. Crawford to draw a ticket and give us the last three numbers.
As long as it's not Harold Martin.
Uh-huh.
All right, the last three numbers. Oh my gosh.
What?
718.
718. Who has the lucky ticket? 718.
I have those with the donor tickets.
Okay, Jennifer, here we go again.
Yeah, come draw them. Half of the pot, if you get the Ace of Diamonds, will go to the winner, and the other half to the club.
Jennifer, go get a toy.
Ten of spades. Oh. Well, you better get in the pot for next week for the drawing. If you'll stand with me, we're going to adjourn with the four-way test of the things that we think, say, and do. First, true. Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth,
beneficial to all concerned.
we're adjourned.